Conspiracy Decoded with Juiceman.
And we're back with another episode of Conspiracy Decoded. I'm your host, the Agent of Change, the leader of the Counter-Strike Revolution, and, well, I'll get to that a little bit later. My name is Juice Jennings. And let's go back in time. Let's talk about what happened at the last event for Conspiracy Sport Pro. A lot happened. A lot went down. There's a lot to talk about. I'm very excited to talk about what happened. So, right off the bat, let's get right into it. I was in the ring, live, for Juice Jennings' Conspiracy Corner, and as I talked about in the previous episode, my guest was the elected heavyweight of professional wrestling, Ryan Oshun. Now, he came out to the ring, and we had a little back and forth. It was a little on edge. I didn't know if we were going to, have a nice civil conversation or if we were just going to come to blows because, as I've talked about in previous episodes, I have accused him. I've got some pretty good information that he might be a North Korean sleeper cell agent. So, anyway, we were talking about his movement for the heavyweight party, and how we're kind of on opposite ends of the spectrum here, because here he is, he loves the heavyweights, and I am the self-proclaimed, I identify as a junior heavyweight, and I'm currently the junior heavyweight champion. So I asked the hard-hitting questions, and I said, Ryan Oshun, do you think heavyweights are better than junior heavyweights, the cruiserweights? Are you a weight supremacist? And he came right out. He didn't even think twice. He said, yes, Juice, I am a weight supremacist. I think the heavyweights are better than cruiserweights. And then he went on to say that he thinks that him and myself and him have a lot in common and a lot to offer to each other. He loves what I'm doing with the junior heavyweights, how I have used the rules of today's society. I have identified as a junior heavyweight, even though I am a biological heavyweight. And I've gone on to have great success in the junior heavyweight division. He likes that. And he would go on to extend his hand in friendship and ask me to join the heavyweight party. And I told him, no one loves a party more than the Juiceman. And we made it official right there. So I am officially registering with the heavyweight party moving forward, which is a big step for me because I've been a registered independent forever. And with that business being handled, it was time to move on to the big elephant in the room. And that was the fact that at that exact moment in time, I actually was not the junior heavyweight champion. And that was stemming from that fraudulent, horrible fiasco that happened in Tampa, Florida over WrestleMania week. So with Ryan still there in the ring with me, we called out George Broome, who's the man in charge at Conspiracy Sport Pro. And with my new best friend at my side, I went on to explain to George Broome that I had hit the books. I had done a deep dive into the rule book of Conspiracy Sport Pro, and I had found all the information I needed. And I proceeded to ask George, I said, George, what is the name of the referee that officiated the junior heavyweight championship match between myself and that dirty dirtbag El Kachi in Tampa, Florida? And he was at a loss for words. He didn't know. And I said, George, you don't know his name because he didn't work for Conspiracy Sport Pro. And it says so in the rules that every title match must be officiated by a licensed official under the employ of Conspiracy Sport Pro. He didn't know him. It was some other guy from some other place, and therefore, that title change was null and void and did not count. And he had nowhere to go. He had no other option but to call that piece of garbage, El Kachi, out with my championship. And he made him do the right thing and relinquish that championship, give it back to me. And I want to make something very clear. I'm not a two-time junior heavyweight champion. I'm not a two-time champ because I never lost it in the first place because that title change in Tampa never happened. It's business as usual. Things are the way they should be and should remain. I am the junior heavyweight champion. I'm the greatest cruiserweight walking flat earth. And the Juiceman has no intention of dropping this gold anytime soon. Now, of course, El Kachi is a dirty loser, and he's really upset about having to not have his championship back. So he starts popping off at the mouth at George, saying, I want a title shot tonight. I want a title shot tonight. And that's what he sounds like. Because that's what losers sound like. And I told him, that's not going to happen. You had your shot and you blew it. But if you want to step in the ring with Juice Jennings, it's going to be on my terms. And it's going to be me and my new best friend, Ryan Oshun, versus you 2-on-1. Now, George, because he's totally corrupt, he's probably been paid off by Alkachi, he said that's a bad idea. He said, let's at least make it fair, and Alkachi can find a partner. And later in the night, in the main event, it would be Kachi and whatever idiot was stupid enough to tag with him versus myself and Ryan Oshun, the newly created heavyweight party. So Oshun and I, we hit the locker room. We started coming up with a game plan, which is hard to do when you don't know who the other partner is going to be. So we started looking around, evaluating the locker room, and we said, you know what? All these guys are total losers anyway, so it doesn't matter who he picks. We got it in the bag. So we went and talked about other political things, getting our agenda together that we can overtake the political spectrum and crash political parties, do corporate takeovers, and make the heavyweight party the strongest party you've ever seen. But when main event time came, we hit the ring. And then Alkachi hit the ring. And then, lo and behold, his partner turned out to be Gio Savage, who apparently is also a junior heavyweight. Looks a little big in my opinion. I might want to weigh in on that. But apparently he's a junior heavyweight or a cruiserweight. So the match happened. And in the end, we're not going to talk about the ending because, again, we're in enemy territory. Combat Sport Pro hates heavyweights. They hate the Juiceman. They don't like Ryan Oshun. And the entire system is rigged against us. So we're not even going to talk about the finish there, okay? But what was really important was what happened after the match. And that's when we're yelling back and forth at each other. Kachi thinks that he's got some kind of claim to the Junior Heavyweight Championship. And he wants another shot at the gold. Well, the Juiceman is an innovator. I'm one of the most creative dudes walking flat earth. I got ideas in my brain that would totally melt the brains of other men. So I started thinking, and I thought to myself, I know just exactly the kind of match that makes sense to put Alkachi down for good. So I found George Brooms after the match, and I said, hey, this is when it's going to happen. And lucky for you, we got it on camera. Hey, you come with me. Come with me. George, you see what happened out there?
Yes.
Kachi thinks he can just do whatever he wants. He thinks he wants his matches. He wants a match for this? Yeah? Well, he can have it. You know what? He can have this, but he's going to earn it. It's going to be on my terms. Okay. You know what we're going to do? What are your terms? The next time we're going to lock it up, it's going to be the first ever in the history of pro wrestling conspiracy crate match.
What is that, like a casket match?
No, it's totally different than a casket match. This is how it works. The ring's over there, and then there's a giant box by the ring, okay? And then, you see where I'm going here?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then the only way you win is by taking your opponent and you stick them in the box. And then you gotta close the lid. That's how it happens.
All right, Juice, let me tell you something. That's called a casket match.
No, I just invented it. It's a conspiracy crate match, and that's what we're gonna do. You got it?
Whatever.
That's it. It's happening.
Whatever.
Conspiracy crate. I invented it. First time ever.
I guess.
Conspiracy crate match. Got it.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The first ever conspiracy crate match is coming at you in the future. Juice Jennings versus that piece of garbage Alkachi. I'm going to stick him in the crate. I'm going to close it. I'm going to nail it shut. And I'm going to ship him off to Area 51. Or wherever. I don't know. We'll send him somewhere. Far, far away. As long as he's out of my life forever, that's all I care about. So look forward to that. Conspiracy Crate is coming at you. Thank you for tuning in to Conspiracy Decoded. I'm Juice Jennings. And don't forget, everybody, it's not a coincidence. It's a conspiracy, Daddy!